Cool.
And I am not sure how to share it from this side, but I'll just leave it like that. It's fine. So,
All bueno.
It's all bueno.
I'm going to share it because I just got a notification that, hey, Any Last Words is live right now. So I'm going to watch.
Oh, it came up that quick? That's crazy.
Hell yeah. And I'm already sharing.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're just going to take a quick minute.
Boop, boop, boop. There we go. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sharing as well. I apologize.
Yeah, sorry. We'll be right there. Why can't I share it right? Facebook's been acting really wonky lately.
Right? Facebook, I don't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
Facebook's
okay.
crazy.
You cray.
Come on. I like the text, by the way, for Any Last Words.
Thank you. Okie dokie. I'm done sharing, so I'm going to start talking, Miguel.
Please do.
Okay. For those of you joining already, thank you and welcome to Any Last Words. I'm your host, Joe. And tonight we're going to be talking about George A. Romero's 1986 horror comedy / Grimm's fairy tale parody, Deadtime Stories. And tonight I have a very special guest. I have Miguel the Pan Rodriguez. Ayo, director of Christmas Party Massacre. And he is also the founder, the owner of Wasp Nest Videos.
This is true.
Okay. You're the Jefe. I gotcha. And also, he does a show with Frankie Rodriguez, his brother, called The Bigger Soul Gentleman.
Also true. You're all the facts. You're doing better than CNN and Fox News put together.
Oh, because mine might be legit.
What? Yep, it's true though. Yeah.
But yeah, so first I'm gonna take a drink of this.
Nice.
Because it's making me a little cottonmouthy, so I keep drinking it. It's like a vicious cycle.
What are you having?
I made another cold coffee.
Nice.
So yeah, I just feel like I need water, but it's like I can't leave right now, so I'm just gonna keep drinking this. So yeah,
it's a vicious cycle, but I get you.
So Mr. the Pan Rodriguez, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and some of your work and your upcoming projects? I want to get to know you. What's your age? What's your sign?
My age. Oh God, I'm a youngin'. I'm 27. I am a Taurus. My birthday's coming in like 2 weeks, so I expect presents from all you watching. Just kidding. I started watch those videos like right after high school because I just wanted to make movies and I want to make some kind of content. I had no idea what I wanted to make yet. It could be anything. I filmed paintball, which is where the nickname comes from, actually, from paintball. I'll go to that in a little bit. But I moved to LA for a while, went to film school. I interned for some people, a little news station for Korean news, and I didn't understand anybody. So that didn't really work out too well. Little odd writing jobs, helping out here and there. And it became too expensive. And I got tired of living at my uncle's house on his couch, taking all his food, and not having a car going back and forth from Compton into LA. Especially because I always wore a suit and tie. I wanted to make sure I looked good. And that got a little weird walking through Compton and that. So I was like, I'm coming back to Bakersfield. And I started going more into the watch those videos, which was why we started doing live shows to build our audience. And that's how we met, mainly through alcohol. But it also turned into filmmaking, which I'm very happy it did. But I write, I direct, I act when I have to, but not when I need to. Or I act when I have to, or act when I have to. I don't do it because I want to. Kind of want to be behind the camera. That's the dream right there, is to just be writing and directing and someone else take care of everything else. I'd be so happy one day.
Well, I hope you get all that, because you're awesome at everything that you do, and you're an awesome person to be around and work with. So
well, thank you. You don't have to lie to these people. It's okay.
Oh, if they watch the other show, they know. I think that's the nicest you will ever hear me say something to you, Miguel, ever. Mm-hmm. So you should ask me if I have a fever or something. Geez, you should be worried that I'm saying such nice things like that.
I'm afraid I'm dying now. I'm scared.
What are you drinking tonight?
Tonight I am having some Guinness Extra Stout. If the lighting will permit me to show you that. There we go. A little better.
Huh.
It is wonderful. Just a dark beer.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
nothing
not
fancy.
I'm not super into dark beers.
I just think I like it better than the IPAs and stuff. And it fills you up. So I only need like one or two, and then I'm like, I'm done for tonight. I'm not gonna get drunk. I'm just having a drink. Yeah, it's like mud in your stomach. It just kind of holds you down.
Yeah, I can't eat and drink normally at the same time, or I can't eat before I drink. Sometimes if I don't eat anything, I can drink for a while, and then after a certain point, then it's like I can eat a little bit and kind of help myself out, but I can never. It's like it's too much.
Yeah, you don't want to get that like bloaty feeling, and then all of a sudden you're ruined for both. No more food, no more drink.
Right. So tell me about Las Vegas videos. What started it for you? What were your first shows that you ever had? What do you plan on doing with it in the future? What are you currently working on? Etc. Etc.
Oh yeah, I'll go to the beginning, the very beginning, which was the paintball stuff. Me and my brother played semi-pro paintball throughout California, and into Vegas a little bit on two different teams. My team was terrible. His was great because he stole all these professional players from a league that fell apart. So me and my buddies were doing it for fun. They actually were winning, and we figured I could film this until I think of an actual idea, and that was a lot of fun. Just getting footage, learning how to edit and cut together. To make kind of an actual storyline when there wasn't a storyline to be made. And then from there, it was just random little skits and videos. I did little challenges, like 100 hours awake, and try to record it, which was a lot of fun for me. I don't know if I could do it again, but I really want to try. The first series we ever did, though, was This Day in History. And we basically did an everyday show. It was like maybe 5 to 7 minutes of different crazy facts throughout history that happened that day. And either we would do it daily or we'd do 1 week at a time. Like, April 1st to the 7th, this happened. And that fell apart pretty fast. It was boring. But the people I worked with were awesome. And still work with them from time to time. And then from there, we took a little break for a while and I moved to LA. I did stuff for other people. Realized I want to be in charge. Like I want to have the reins to decide what I do, or what do you call it? Where we go, at least, and work with people I like more than people I have to work with. And that's kind of been the whole idea, is to give people that I like a chance. Hopefully people that I like will give me a chance and work with me as well, which has been great. And just see what we could build from there together. We're doing right now 5 shows. We have the cigars. We have filmmaking coming back. We've got Girls, Gore, and Gin. We've got scheduled for 1 fall. And then I really do want to bring back the cooking stuff. I'm really excited for that. As soon as all this craziness goes over, I would love that like crazy. And obviously we have commercial work from time to time. Got to pay the bills. But in Bakersfield, a little more difficult. It's scarce. And then we have the movies. We've got horror movies. There's a lot in the works. There's plenty to be happening. Right now, it's a little more difficult, but we're just trying to figure out projects that we can do even when everyone's separate like this.
Yeah. Because really, what else are we going to do? And we don't know when we're going to get out of this situation right now. So
that's true.
If we get out of this situation,
I want to say yes. I'm really hoping so.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Fingers and toes crossed.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell me about Christmas Party Massacre. How did you come about this project? How did you end up making what you could happen? What do you have plans for it in the future?
Well, it started just wanting to shoot a Christmas horror movie with whoever wanted to do it. And it kind of grew from there, out of my control, to a point where we got to make this into something better and bigger. So we kept writing and adding until it was something I'm really excited to make, and I want to see it come to life. And once we were ready to, everything was in place. The investor backed out very last minute, which was just devastating. some other stuff happened. We lost the studio space. That was rough. And now we're in this situation where filming that many people in one spot would be illegal.
Yeah.
Not difficult, but that gives us some time to kind of regroup. And hopefully, because everyone said they're still on board, hopefully they're on board after this. And I have an idea for different horror movies for all the major holidays, at least one a month, I'm hoping. And that will be one of my, hopefully, series that I can look back on and be happy with. I love horror. I love campy horror movies. As today we're going to talk about. I cannot wait to get into this. It's one of my go-to things to watch when I'm bored, when I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I want to look at other people's film work and see something that maybe I could borrow from them this, or straight up just steal this effect that they're doing, pick their brain on how they did this. Because there's a lot of creativity that comes into horror movies when there is no money, there's no budget, but there's a lot of talented people there. And just because you don't see it on screen like you do with like a Marvel movie or the Fast and Furious, where it's all money being thrown at these big projects, there's so many talented people who are making amazing stuff with what they have to work with. And that's the kind of stuff I like to see. That's my favorite go-to kind of movies. And I want to be a part of that. That's my number one goal as far as movies I want to make.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. I actually kind of had a similar conversation the other day about the effects and the graphics and everything in movies that are out, within the past, I don't know, like maybe 10, 15 years or so, maybe. How it's just becoming more and more CGI and, graphics and all this other crap. And it's not the same as like animatronics and, little rubber hearts that like have somebody under a table squeezing something and pumping blood out of it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm old. I don't know.
I don't think that's anything to do, because you do not look old. You're young at heart. I know that. And the first time I met you, I thought we were the same age. So only knowing that because you told me how old you are, and I will not mention it on screen because I know to be a gentleman still. But no, I think you're absolutely right. I think, special effects are great. The CGI is wonderful. It allows you to tell other stories. But that shouldn't take away from practical effects. The new series from Netflix, Dark Crystals, I think it's called, where there's no special effects. It's all puppeteers and practical effects. I think that's a wonderful thing they're bringing back. In fact, there's a virtual tour of the puppet, theater, technically, that did that. They're showing all the puppets behind the scenes to that series right now for free because of what's going on. So don't knock it until you try it for yourself, kind of thing. Be willing to try those old effects. I was on set with Miguel Rodriguez when he did Terror at Station 13, and he they had this monster created, this little alien, and the way they filmed it moving was that old style that you see on Aliens, where it's that backwards effect. You film it in reverse, or excuse me, you film it forward and you play it back in reverse to what you want it to do. And it is absolutely, it works. It works perfectly. I think it feels more real. When it's done right, it's much better than CGI. And Kristen, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I remember it was just puppets, no CGI at all. Wonderful stuff. I mean, the Star Wars movies, when they showed, they had a little practical effects to begin with, or excuse me, a little CGI to kind of work with it. But that practical was unbelievable. And I think the originals are better because of it than anything they've released since.
Oh, yeah. It really shows the creativity that a single person or a group of people can come up with. And I don't know. It's just not CGI. You don't see that. It's what a computer can generate for you. If that makes any sense.
No, I absolutely agree. But there actually is some stuff to be said about CGI worlds. The Unreal Engine is a gaming system to develop video games. And some filmmakers, the ones that did The Mandalorian, actually used it to make the backgrounds. And they did it in real time so the actors can see what you're supposed to be seeing on screen. So everywhere they look, the world moves to what they want. There's no clipping. It's literally a 360 room of whatever environment they want to build. And they can move it in real time at the same moment they're filming. So if a mountain needs to be somewhere else, if the sunset needs to be at a different angle, they can move it. And that kind of control really lets you tell a story. And we don't all have a sound room that big as Lucasfilm does, obviously. But but I'm not against seeing big projects like that take on what they need to. I
Mhm.
just know that so much can still be done, even when you don't have Star Wars budgets or Disney budgets. You can still make amazing projects.
Right. So what do you never mind. You already answered that question. Sorry, I get
No worries.
distracted. I have a tickle in the throat. Is there anything else you want to say about the movie before we move on to the next part of the segment?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, there's a lot of setbacks in it. That's indie filmmaking for you. And
Oh
anyone
yeah.
out there who's making independent films, whatever, even if it's not a horror film, even if it's not you're having big setbacks, but you're just nervous yourself, which I definitely am all the time. Not gonna lie, I still get nervous every time I write something I don't want to show anybody because like, oh, this is garbage, let me throw it away. You kind of just got to throw that to the back of your mind. At some point or another, it's sink or swim, and sometimes you're gonna sink, and those are the moments that are gonna teach you way more than when you just float on your belly the first time. You got to be willing to kind of fall apart for things to get even better. And I've been so lucky to have the people I am around me that have stuck with me through all the sinks. Just like you, Joe, just like I think Greg watching right now, who's been willing to kind of ride out some of the storms, and all the people who have come and go too. Everyone who I've worked with, I'm excited to work with again. I am thankful for the time I've gotten with them. Don't be afraid to just make something, even if you don't think it's going to be the greatest thing. That's how you make something better the next time. There's no learning just from thinking about it. You have to do to learn. And you kind of do poorly sometimes to learn, and that's okay because you're not going to look at most people's first film and see something amazing. It's okay to make what you think is okay right now and get those building blocks to something even better later on. I know that wasn't directly about this one film, but that's how I feel right now. Just because I've mentioned a lot of negatives right now as far as where we are as far as production goes, I'm not one bit discouraged that it will be made. And sometime in one future Christmas, people are going to be laughing and a little bit scared, hopefully, at Party Massacre. That's my goal.
I'm excited. I'm super excited, Miguel. It will happen.
Excellent. Yeah.
Just gotta wait for this shit to blow over.
It's gonna be great afterwards. I already know it.
Yes. All we can do is sit and plot, make our next moves.
Oh, what is it? Pinky in the brain. You got to plan to take over the world every night.
I love Pinky in the brain.
Love it.
Oh, can you give me 1 second, Miguel?
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
I forgot to do something before we started.
Oh, no. I know all you out there. Thank you so much for watching. There's a couple people watching right now. Do me a favor and share for Joe, too, because she's putting a lot of effort into this. So share away, guys. Really do appreciate it. She does an awesome job.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I did forget to do one important thing, and that was to plug in the laptop. So.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. We almost died.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm glad you played that. You're good. You got it.
Yeah. So you ready to get into this ridiculous, funny horror movie?
Yes. Let me go to my notes real quick.
Okay.
Boop, boop, boop.
Okie dokie. I'm not sick. I swear. I'm just a smoker.
No, there's a whole screen in between us. I'm safe. Okay, there we go. All right.
Okay.
I am ready.
Okay. So tonight we're going to be talking about George A. Romero's Deadtime Stories. George A. Romero, if you are not familiar, is the guy for the Living Dead series, Night of Living Dead, Return of Living Dead 2, and so on and so forth until I think some other jerks took it over and demolished it, right?
Well, there's so many of the Dead series out there now. You have Shaun of the Dead, which was awesome.
Then I love Shaun of the Dead.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely.
Not red on you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's been so many adaptations because the original one wasn't copywritten properly, so it's in public domain, and people kind of just ran with it. And I think that little blunder in the beginning allowed zombie movies to kind of be what they are nowadays, and that's everywhere. And that's probably the biggest gift any director is given to filmmaking, is letting zombies be free range for everyone.
Oh, for sure. Holy shit. And then be able to use like parts of the title or, you know, pretty much the entire title with a little extra on top of it and still go out and make money off of it and create content art with it.
I want to say you could shoot that movie entirely, scene for scene, and sell it if you want. I'm not. Don't quote
Are
me
you
on that.
serious?
Yeah, I think the
Oh
entire
my
movie
God.
can be redone if you want to, and you can sell it still, make money, which is a crazy thought. But I bet someone out there is going to do that if they haven't already, because I've seen the remake, which was really actually pretty good.
I wonder if somebody's done like a parody of the original. Because
A
I
parody?
think that would be
Sure.
like, like a comedy parody, like
Yeah.
Barbara falls, and then when she falls again and then falls all the way down the hill, like in a ridiculous manner or some shit. I don't know. Like this scary movies kind of shit, but maybe not as, obnoxious, funny.
You never know,
I
but
don't
that
know.
sounds pretty hilarious. I would watch it.
Should
But
do
yeah,
it.
Romero is my hero. He's my filmmaking hero for forever.
Yeah, no, I loved Return of the Living Dead. That one I liked, I think, the best. And I think the one I liked the least was Diary of the Dead. That one I was not a huge fan of.
Oh, see, no, Return of the Living Dead was a different series. That was a different guy doing it.
Oh, was it? I thought it was all George Romero.
Oh no,
Oh,
no,
he just stole the idea and went with it. One of
exactly.
those. Gotcha.
But they did it really well. I love Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, I like it too. Let's see. Okay, so come to find out also that there are 2 more additional Deadtime stories that came out kind of recently-ish. This
Yeah.
Did you see that too? I didn't know there were other ones, but I don't know. They
Yeah,
kind of look super B-rated as well, but
I didn't watch them, but I've watched this one, and it makes me want to watch the others too. I think I'm gonna have to spend a night watching all the Deadtime stories in a row.
yeah, I mean, I watched the trailers, but I haven't watched those yet. I do want to watch them just because I've watched the first one. So it kind of feels like the 86 version is 1, and then volume 1 would actually be 2, and volume 2 would be 3, maybe.
That makes sense to me.
It's just a continuation of anthologies.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the volume 1 came out in 2011 and volume 2 came out in 2016. So they're not like super old, but they're not super recent either. So I don't know, maybe they'll be decent.
I'm looking forward to it.
I don't think there's gonna be much CGI in it, just looking at the trailers, but just saying.
Nothing wrong with that. And I think, Christian in the comments saying John Russo wrote Return to Living. Yeah, and that is definitely a great zombie movie. Absolutely wonderful.
So I'm getting used to this whole like clicking on stuff and having to do multiple things while I'm doing a show.
See, it's difficult, isn't it?
Whatever, Miguel.
It's hard work. I believe it.
Is it?
Sometimes.
You just have to have a wider attention span than a stoner, and I think you're capable of that.
Yeah, sometimes. Half the time.
I'm like the stoner.
Oh, yeah, you got it. You can do this.
So it's an anthology, and basically it's like 2 of the 3 stories, because there's one of them I'm not sure about. I didn't have time to really look into it. But 2 of the 3 of them seem to be based off of like Grimm's fairy tales, which if you've ever read Grimm's fairy tales, those are pretty like messed up and twisted themselves. Like they're not like Disney puts it at all. It's really like brutal and shit. But the one I wasn't sure of was the first story in the movie, and it was called Peter and the 3 Witches.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that one's based off of a Grimm's fairy tale or if that was just one he just came up with himself.
Now the thing, there's so many Grimm's fairy tales. A lot of people don't know is that the Grimm's fairy tales are actually not them writing them. It was a collection of them, of Germanic folklore that they wanted to collect to kind of preserve cultural Germanic history, and that was through the spoken word. And they were the first ones to kind of write it down all together, and that's kind of how they got all their stories. And in order to fund the next ones, they had to take out certain things. But for some reason left in a lot of really messed up stuff.
Yeah,
like the general public was okay with a lot of really horrible things, as long as certain other during that time, quote unquote, social norms were left alone, I don't really know how that works out. It'd be like us telling Human Centipede that you can glue up each other's butts, but don't you touch their like ass to mouth in a different. I don't know. It's just really weird. And I want to say Dan does a really good podcast on the history of Grimm's fairy tales, and I didn't realize there's like thousands of them, I guess. And I want to say that is one, but I've never read it, and I'm not familiar with that first one.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not either. But you know what? Like you brought up, there are a lot of stories. So it could very well easily be a story that we're just not familiar with.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories, like Snow White, Rapunzel, Cinderella. There's a lot of stories that are from them, and they're all messed up. But okay. So basically in this first story, there are these two witches, and they have like an evil priest that they lured into their little cottage, and he thinks that they're all young and beautiful and sexy and shit, and they basically use him to chop his hand off to bring the location of their third sister so they can bring her back to life.
Yeah.
Very weird, very weird. And they have a little servant boy named Peter who they have helped them to locate the sister's body in this like little, like a crypt or cave.
I would say like a crypt, yeah.
Crypt. And then so they drag her back home, and then they send Peter out to go find like this. I would assume she's a virgin, like a young, beautiful virgin, to bring her back. Yeah, basically, I mean, they needed a life. They said a life for a life anyway. So they just, he snagged her up and brought her back, and he really didn't want to do it. And right at the last minute, right when they're getting ready to bring the third sister back to life, he helps free her, and they kill the one sister, and the blood goes in the dead sister's mouth, and it brings her back to life, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, I was like, I've never heard this Grimm fairy tale, but I would read it. I want to see the Disney version of this, however they would tell that story.
That would be interesting.
Absolutely. And I love how they have the uncle telling his nephew these stories.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to open with that, huh? Uncle Mike.
Yeah, I feel like that is exactly the kind of stories my uncles would tell me if I asked for bedtime stories. I don't ever remember asking for bedtime stories, but they would be cool enough to tell me some like probably gruesome stuff. And this definitely feels like an uncle story.
This dude, okay, so let me back up a little bit, guys, just in case you don't know. Before the stories start, the movie opens up with an uncle babysitting his nephew, Uncle Mike. Little boy's a little shithead, very demanding, very bossy, and the uncle's like this pervy jerk. He's just like, yeah, what the fuck do you want? Leave me alone. And he's like, tell me a story now. And he's like, how about this one? He's like, no, I don't want that one. And he's like, you tell me your own stories. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll tell you my own stories. And so it goes into this. But yeah, like the uncle, like he's pervy and he's a jerk because as like they stop in between each story to go back to Uncle Mike and the little boy. Yeah. And it progresses in his assholeness, it seems.
Oh, very quickly. Yeah, I think he just gets tired of this kid and like, no, I'll tell you a horrible story so you go to sleep, hopefully.
Yeah. He's like, please. And he's like, no. So yeah, like I said, helps the girl get away, kill the one witch, brings the other witch back to life, starts chasing him, and they start going like kind of like through this cave maze, if you will. And it gets to the part where they fight the witch, and he like throws his hand into her chest and rips out her heart.
Yeah.
And it's like all crazy and she dies. But then it totally then I start laughing because it totally does like this whole alien kind of thing. Because the heart and the valves turn and go onto his face.
And am I wrong, or is this pre or post Face Suckers? Is this movie come out before Alien?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know what year.
I'm going to take my note on that one real quick.
Yeah, but I started laughing. I thought that shit was hilarious. I was like, it's like Aliens, where it's like, it's like got a hold of his face. He's like, get it off.
Yeah. So the original Alien predates this movie by 7 years. So they've got to be doing a little throwback to that because it was way too similar not to be. And I liked it. I thought it was like campy funny, but it was
Yeah.
still a good jump scare, I bet, for that time period.
Oh, for sure. And I'm sure you know, the props and everything were probably kind of unique for the time. I mean,
Oh
because
yeah.
if the part where the witch, the sister witch that they were looking for, when she starts coming back to life and she starts reanimating, it's kind of like she's like when you disintegrate, like she's going backwards.
Yeah.
And you kind of watch like the facial part, it's kind of like Return of the Living Dead too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like the same kind of way he did it, like the melting and the foam and the fizzies and the bubbles and the blood and everything, and it all just looked very much like some of the Night of the Living Dead props and everything.
Oh, I would 100% agree. I think a lot of the skills they learned from those horror movies kind of folded into this one pretty well, and they wanted to run the same gag twice basically, and it worked. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was really cool because I don't know, I like the way it looks. Just I don't know, that's just me. I like it. But yeah, so then then that story ends and it's like, oh, well, tell me another story. And then it
And
goes into another story.
I really love the way this one was told. Too. The next one being the Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, and that's where the Uncle Mike starts getting really pervy,
Yeah.
really freaking quick, because he's sitting downstairs, and the whole time this little boy, each time now he's calling the uncle back in, is because there's a monster in his closet, or he believes there's a monster in his closet, like we all did when we were little. And the uncle's really getting irritated because he wants to sit down and drink his beer and fucking watch his Skinamax. And it's like,
As we
dude,
all do.
he's like, dude, you're interrupting my jam right now. You need to fucking go to sleep. Trying to fucking have some me time right now until your fucking parents come home. Go to sleep. And he's like, no, really, tell me a story. There's a fucking monster. So then it kind of goes into this next one and it starts very like kind of sexual. And it's like, you think about it, you're like, there's a man telling this little boy this story right now.
But I feel like that was definitely the 80s uncle like parody right there. Like for sure. And
Uncle.
yeah, skeevy uncle for sure. And he played it very well. He did a good job of that.
He did. He definitely did. Actually, there are some. What did I do with them? I had some IMDb fun facts about the movie.
Nice.
Actually, right before Uncle Mike starts telling the story of Little Red Riding Hood, a boom mic can be seen like right above his head.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. And which one is she in? Okay. And the first story, the name of the girl that was kidnapped that they were going to use as the sacrifice was named Miranda. When they are in the kind of like the rock cave maze area right before they kill the witch throws the girl back and she lands against the rock cave wall. And if you pay attention and you notice, the whole rock wall moves. So like you see the whole thing kind of like shake a little bit. It's like, oh shit, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's one of those situations you got to worry about when you're indie filmmaking. If you're building a wall out of nothing, that's supposed to be a rock wall. Hopefully it doesn't move. That's a hopeful.
Secure the shit out of it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. That was just funny though. And then for the next one, the last story, which is going to be Goldilocks and the Three Bears, there was actually like almost a half a minute that was cut from the movie in the UK version to keep it at an 18 rating because the nude shower scene was like so long to them. Like for us, it's just like little glimpses here and there. It's not really all that big deal, but I think they pretty much cut most of that out in the UK just so they can keep the rating on it.
That makes sense. You still want to sell it wherever you can, and if you have to cut a little bit, I get it. It's not like she was telling anything important while she was naked in the shower.
Right.
That actress, Catherine de Prum, who plays Goldie, that whole tidbit of the family she runs into, the bear family, it felt like a proto Firefly
Yes,
family to me.
it did definitely. The Three from Hell, Devil's Rejects kind of
House of
feel
a
to
Thousand
it. It
Corpses.
did. But let's not get too far in that. We got a story before that to tell.
Yes, which I thought it was really well told after they kind of skipped over the whole her perving out in the mirror thinking about her boyfriend.
Yeah,
Like,
I did too.
that wasn't necessary, but it kind of mirrored what the other guy was going through. The werewolf. He has got something inside of him that he's been trying to tamper down with the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way they told that, because the moment he was starting to transform because he didn't have his drugs, she was losing her virginity to her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he's literally saying that he's not ready for what's about to happen to him when he's turning into a werewolf. And you can see on her face that she wasn't ready to be with her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
It just, it was too soon, too quick kind of thing. Didn't want to do it in an outhouse or whatever they were in.
Yeah,
And
I mean, that dude, I wouldn't want to get plowed by somebody wearing socks during sex. Like, he's just a douchebag anyway, on top of that. That's gross.
It still counts. I'm with them on that. In high school, as a guy, wherever you can, that's the motto, It's
you know that to be true, Miguel?
Yeah, take it easy. No, I take it any way I can get it. All right. That's how it happens.
No judgment, man. We're all adults.
But no, I just thought that was a really good way they told. They kind of mirrored the werewolf's experience turning into a werewolf with her becoming a woman. And I was like, that's a pretty good message right there. Like, sometimes you're not ready, but it's going to happen anyway. And hopefully you don't murder anyone because you lose your virginity. But if you turn into a werewolf, you're probably going to kill a few people.
Do you think that's how it was with the granny at the end in the hospital? The whole not ready for it and transition, and like she almost died, but then she turns into the werewolf because he bit her.
Oh yeah, I totally believe that. I think you're right on the money with that. She was an old frail lady, and she's not ready to leave this earth anyways. But now she's not ready to be a vampire or a werewolf either. Excuse me. And I loved how it wasn't a happy ending, nor was there any like lumberjack in this one, like in the original fairy tale kind of story where it kills the werewolf. I thought they did a really good retelling of this one.
Yeah, no, I did too. I definitely, I think in order, I liked this one, the third one, and then the first one. Because the first one, it's a good story, don't get me wrong, but I don't know what story it's from to kind of relate it to like it can the other two stories, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was fun to watch, but not as I don't think it's as the other ones.
Yeah.
I can see the Goldilocks story, how it affected other filmmakers later on. Like when we talked about the Firefly family used in the other movies, I can totally see this being like inspiration into other movies. And then the first story just didn't seem to go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. Compared to the two, it almost feels like it was a filler story, and they put it at the beginning to get it out of the way.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
So you wouldn't be disappointed at the end. Like, you get this one out of the way. If you're still watching it, the next one's pretty good, so it might keep you interested in it to stay longer towards the end, and then you have a really good story to end, so you're not disappointed when it's done. You're just like, yeah, that first one was like, meh.
Yeah, 100%. And not that it was bad, but it just wasn't as good as the other ones.
Right. It was just meh.
Yeah. That was part of a movie.
Yeah. So the last story is based off of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, obviously. And like you said, that one was more of a Firefly family feel to it. But there were a lot of differences to it. There was actually a dad there. I grew up with a dad. But can
you answer something for me?
Maybe.
Did they escape an insane asylum, or what the hell was that in the beginning?
Okay, so it was the mom and the dad were breaking the son out because the son was kind of like, the dad and because I had to think about that at first too, and then I rewound it and was watching it again. I was like, oh no, that makes sense because the dad's dressed like a doctor. So it's like, it looked like he was sneaking him out. And then they came up to the guard and was all like, oh, hey, like, no, we're leaving. And then the mom pulls up and takes off with him. But at first, when I first watched it, I really got this kind of mice and men kind of vibe from it. Like, I'm gonna pet the Pet the rabbit, pet the rabbit. It's like, no, don't do it, Lenny.
Okay, yes, because yeah, that would be the perfect like horror version of Mice and Men, where
Yes.
this really like kind of a jerk asshole tiny guy is taking care of this big blustery but nice guy who kills stuff because he just doesn't know how to handle himself.
Yeah.
That would have been a great story too. Fuck, we got to make that. We got to try that.
Start making notes.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna write that one down somewhere.
Do it. But they end up, like I said, it's the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So it starts off with those three busting the sun out of the state asylum, and then Goldilocks. Holy shit! I honestly don't remember seeing that when I was a kid because I grew up watching this movie. But there's something. Oh, was it really?
Yeah, I honestly like it. Just kind of skidded under the radar. I was gonna watch it like a year or two ago. Totally forgot.
Oh, okay. Well, I think what it was for me watching it again was the whole you catch things differently as an adult than you did when you were a kid.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So, and there were some things I just don't remember and I didn't get why they happened, but it was like, oh wait, Goldilocks was fucking nuts. And it was kind of like a Carrie mixed into it at the same time because she had like these telekinetic powers, but she was also like a psycho serial killer. And she was like, she was murdering and collecting all these dudes who were trying to have sex with her. She's like, oh, you want to fuck me? I'll fuck you. Or she'd be like, she'd do her cross-eyed thing. Like, she'd go cross-eyed and then like something would move and hurt someone.
I loved her attitude throughout the entire short movie within the movie.
It was very short.
Yeah. I would fall in love with this girl and get murdered easily. No problem. I thought they did a really good job. She's an awesome actress. I would like to see other projects she's been in. She's still acting. I think the last movie she was in was 2016. Still super pretty, still super talented. And I think this was her introduction, like her first major role.
Really?
Yeah, this was her, I think, introducing her as a main character film. So she really knocked it out of the park. I get definitely like back in the day, a lot of 80s slashers, you have to be nude. And she was super pretty, so it worked well for her. But she's talented enough, and I think she probably has enough credits now. It's not that kind of role anymore. She can do other stuff. But always going back to this, I think she's been great from day one, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, this one, like I said earlier, this was my favorite story. This was my first favorite story. Little Red Riding Hood was my second.
Yeah, I did. List, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if just the director did a really good job. The actors did a great job. The setup, the plot, everything was really great. I really like the story a lot. So now I'm really interested to watch the other ones.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna watch those tonight. I think they're all on Amazon.
Oh, I got mine on Tubi.
I was on Tubi first on my phone. I was like, nah, I gotta watch this big screen. I need me some turkey jerky. I'm gonna relax and watch this, and it was worth it. Definitely deserves to be seen on a bigger screen. Don't watch on your phone, which I was doing. Watch on a bigger screen. I corrected my mistake. And it really was fun. It was a fun, I think, 90-minute movie. So not too long. It really played throughout the entire thing. It keeps your attention. The scoring was definitely 80s, like kind of, what's that synthesizer feel? Oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
Or whatever yeah. Oh my gosh.
Tom, don't make fun of my turkey jerky.
Turkey jerky. Oh, I want bacon jerky. I haven't had bacon jerky in a while.
Full disclosure, I got the turkey jerky as a present, so I wasn't gonna not eat it. But it's not my favorite. But I'm just gonna be, because the person's still here. So I ate it out of respect, okay? Not out of number one choice of jerky. Bacon jerky is definitely better. Some good spicy jerky is also amazing. But turkey jerky is like straight up out there, all right?
It's all right.
Good. Yeah.
Have you had I don't know if it's open now because it's not an essential store, but there's a liquor store not too far from my house, like a big liquor store. And they sold alligator jerky, ostrich jerky, kangaroo jerky, turkey jerky, beef jerky, chicken jerky, like everything from Noah's Ark basically made into jerky.
How many jerkied animals have I eaten? Pig, beef, turkey, buffalo, deer,
Buffalo's good.
alligator, and that's it right there. Venison in the comments. I think venison would be really good. Deer jerky, yeah, it's good stuff.
I've never had deer jerky. I've had venison, but I've never had deer jerky.
Just bacon or venison. Those are only jerkies allowed, Tom says. All right, fair enough.
I just want the bacon jerky. Just that hickory. What is it? The Jack's Links in the bag. That stuff is so good.
Ooh, so bad for you, so good for your tummy. Oh my gosh.
I don't care. I sit there, eat it all.
I'm not gonna worry about what it does to me. I'm just gonna eat it. But yeah, I mean, I gotta ask you, where do you see yourself watching this movie? Like, maybe who would you like want to show this to if it was their first time watching it? Because it kind of, a lot of older movies kind of lose interest to people, other than like the mainstays, like your Jason or Michael Myers and stuff of the 80s. Who could you recommend this to, you think? Would you recommend it to like a younger audience so they see that campiness? Or do you think you would need someone who like, nah, this is a movie person. It's got to be another movie geek to watch this?
I want to say movie geek, but at the same time, just because we've already had so many horror movies come out in the past that were like Grimm fairy tale inspired. Like we had the Hansel and Gretel, the one where they like super kicked ass and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I can see some younger people watching this and appreciating the movie for what it is. I don't know. Maybe it would just have to be for people who are, film buffs that can appreciate it.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the raunchiness, I would have shown like my younger siblings because it's not too scary, but there's some like decent jump scares. But there's just uncomfortable scenes I couldn't watch with them. I'm like, no, not gonna happen.
Yeah, and I sometimes sit there and go, how are we able to watch shit as children? Like, how did this happen? Because like, it's like I watched a lot of shit as a kid. So
who said yes to this? They made a mistake.
They just put it on and walked out of the room because they had better shit to do. I mean,
oh yeah,
we didn't have cell phones and internet, so when you were doing shit, you weren't normally in your house. So like, this one's old enough to watch this one, and vice versa. They'll be fine. Just put some shit in the VCR. There's Kool-Aid in the fridge. So
boom.
Call your grandma. I'll be right down the road if you need me.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what do you think? Do you think anybody can watch this, or do you think that this would be for film aficionados?
This has got to be for first your film nerds, I think, because they'll appreciate it a little more. Your horror nerds, maybe like a family relative, especially right now when you're stuck at home and you're starting to get tired of like Netflix series and all this new polished stuff. So you want to see something a little more gritty, and then maybe like, this what's the word I'm looking for? Like a date. Like if you're trying to see if this person's cool or not, movie and they can kind of be in it, then if they kind of get into it, they're like, maybe this is going somewhere. Maybe I can take her back to the old cave or something. I don't know.
It's like if she'll watch this.
Yeah, if she wants to, maybe she'll be into my weirder movies. I don't know.
Does you think it gets weirder than that? Oh wait, yeah, there is some weirder shit than that. What the fuck is that one movie with the killer turkey?
Thanksgiving.
Is that what it's called? Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving. It's the killer turkey. Those college kids come back for Thanksgiving break, right?
The beginning of it, I think, starts in like a graveyard and they're like fucking or some shit. And like the turkey, like lady. Yeah. I think
she's hanging out like right away. I don't know why. It just started with that. I love Thanksgiving.
Okay, I didn't see all of it, but from what I saw, it was friggin' hilarious and cheesy.
Watch it. You got to watch it. If you talk about that one on here, I want to be on. I don't care what it costs me. I want to be on when you talk that one.
I'll save it for Thanksgiving, and we'll be on the show together. Maybe if we're out of quarantine, we'll do like a dinner and movie review, and maybe we can semi-stream it while we're. I don't know.
If you're cooking, then yeah, I'm there. That's totally fine. Yeah.
Oh, you don't watch it.
Talk 50 Shades of Grey. I'll still watch. As long as
Thanksgiving we'll have 50 Shades of Gravy.
Ah, I love it. That's hilarious.
That would be great. Jeez Louise. You like the movie? Your first time seeing it, you like the movie?
Big thumbs up. I'm disappointed in myself for not seeing it sooner, but hey, there's a bunch of movies out there. So there's always, I love that there's movies that I haven't seen yet. That's another good thing though.
Oh yeah, especially right now, we got nothing better to do but discover them all. So, yeah. So, Mr. The Pan, what rating would you give it?
Oh, I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely kept my attention. I was able to follow it very easily. I thought everything looked good, even with the boom in the shot. It's okay. I thought the effects were done pretty dang well, especially for the time period, and it really gave me everything I wanted out of an '80s kind of like slasher fun fic kind of thing. And I was entertained the entire time. So that's really the important part. And I believe I want to remember her name because she really stole the show for me.
The Goldilocks.
Catherine DeBroom, Goldie. She was phenomenal, and I love that that was one of her bigger first roles.
Only because you saw her boobies.
But tell me she wasn't good when she was killing people in that.
She was. She was. I'm just giving you crap. But no, I really
honestly, like, no offense to what's his name's wife from House of a Thousand Corpses and all that.
Carrie Moon.
Yeah, but I think Miss Prum would be a better crazy person for the Firefly family. Gosh dang it.
Yeah.
I just think she's wonderful. Thought she was a great actress. She did great in this movie.
She was great. And I love the fact that she was also a serial killer too. Like she brutally murdered her parents. And she had it just reminded me of Carrie also, because Carrie was in 70s, wasn't it? Carrie was late 70s.
Ooh, let me make sure on that for you.
I think Carrie was 70s. So that to me, that would have been a nod to Carrie with the telekinesis and everything like that. And just savagely murdering people. She just crosses her eyes and they're dead.
100%. This was 10 years after Carrie, this movie. This was 1976. Carrie came out. That's another great one too. But definitely felt that telekinetic powers kind of played well with this movie, just like it did in Carrie.
Yeah. And then I liked how they kind of acknowledged that too in the movie. They the news reporters and the FBI agent saying, she's wanted too. She's known for having strange, erratic behavior. She savagely murdered her parents. And there's also suspicion that she may have psychic abilities and all this other shit. I was like, oh, okay. They acknowledge that in the movie, because a lot of movies where people have the telekinetic powers, they don't really acknowledge it.
Yeah, no, they try to ignore it. For some reason, weird things just kind of happen. Yeah. They don't want to admit it or something. Tom in the comment says the 2013 version of Carrie was disappointment.
You didn't like that one, sir?
I gotta kind of agree. I love Chloe Moretz as an actress. Mm-hmm. She's one of my favorite new actresses out there. The girl from Kick-Ass.
Yeah, and, she's great.
Let Me In, when she was a vampire, I thought she was wonderful in that.
Oh, she was way younger. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is kind of weird to say, but she was too pretty beforehand to be that outcast, and then she goes they made me pretty and made me a murderer. She's a great actress, but she was just too pretty for the role, and it was okay at best. I didn't care for that one very much, but I'll watch it because of her, because I love Chloe Moretz. I would definitely leave my first wife for Chloe Moretz. I think she's awesome.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I can see why. Because that doesn't make sense. Why is she so pretty and cute, but she's getting picked on? Does she smell? Because that's the only way I can see somebody picking on her. Yeah. I liked it. Even though it was played pretty close to the original, I still liked it a lot. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the book too. I thought the book was really good as well.
Yeah, was that a, what do you call a book? A King? Yeah, that was another good King adaptation, I think. And even though I think Stephen King's not a big fan of his own his own books being made into movies, I like them a lot.
I know, but he, I heard that too. And then didn't he start helping with some of the like Netflix movies that were, or Netflix shows / movies like the 1963 or whatever it was called, or no?
Yeah, the ones based on his books, the new ones like
Mhm.
Into the Tall Grass or Gerald's Game.
Yeah, that one's an
Yeah,
old
he
one. Gerald's
really
Game is
old,
an old one.
but still great, still great.
Have you
But
watched
he
Gerald's?
also, I'm a huge for it. Just found you doing this stuff. Oh, hey, Brad, how you doing? I got to give Brad a shout out real quick. He's from Zero Cigars in Arizona. One of my
Oh, hey.
favorite people. If you see him in real life, he'll give you a big bear hug, and you're never
Nice.
going to want another hug in your life. It's the best hug in the world.
Aw.
And he knows his cigars like no other person. So love you, brother. But back to Stephen King real quick. He also helped out with the new Doctor Sleep, but the director was saying that he didn't want to take over in any role. So all he did was like very ambiguous, whatever you call that,
Ambiguous?
ambiguous. Thank you, and very in the background. He didn't want it to be a Stephen King movie. It's whatever your movie you're making, because it's still, respecting one artist's take on your work. And he was very good about doing that. Stephen King, he's very proud of his work, but he also understands that other people tell their stories too, even if it's with his words. And I think that's really impressive, because a lot of people out there will, I totally get it. You want to treat your own work like your baby. You want to hold it in.
But you're giving someone else the opportunity to interpret it in the way that they take it.
Yes.
And the way they see it and the way they would present it to the world had it been theirs. I can understand
100%.
that.
Yes. And he's really great with filmmakers in general. He sells all of his short works for $1 for you can use the rights to make movies for student filmmakers.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can be a student filmmaker and say, I made a Stephen King movie or a Stephen King short. They're all online right now. You can check them out. Anyone can buy them. You can't resell the movie, obviously, because it's just for practice purposes. But he released so many of them for people to work with. It's incredible.
Oh, we should do one, Miguel. We can be. Do you have to be from an accredited school, or can you say you're self
No, you can
learning?
it's just $1. It's just put $1
Okay.
in, and you can't sell it. There's no making money off of it, but totally understand that, because he's just trying to help people.
Right. That would be fun, though. Still.
100%. I would love to do that.
Hell yeah. Shit. Well, I like this movie, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me watch it. I really did appreciate it, and I love being on. So I hope you have me on soon again.
I will, for sure. I love it. You're very easy to talk. Well, I mean, I've known you for a long time. We've been a lot of places, done a lot of shit, so it's just easy to talk to you, I guess.
I think we've talked like a couple weeks now. I've known you, something like that.
Yeah,
a couple dozen plus 100 weeks or so. Yeah.
You just dropped in my DM one day, and I was like, "Why not? I'm bored." So
I dropped in your bar one day. That's what happened.
That's right. You dropped
literally
in my bar.
like, you're pretty. Why don't you do this for me? Tell me I'm wrong.
That sounds almost like a proposition, Miguel.
Tell me I'm wrong, though.
Not in those words, but yes, in a roundabout way, yes.
That's exactly what I said. And Frankie was like right there too, like, he's right, you should.
That's what I get for letting strangers in the bar.
You gotta stop doing that. I told you that.
I gotta start carding people. Fuck.
I think so.
Jeez Louise. Well, just in case you guys don't know, this is Miguel Rodriguez, film director of Christmas Party Massacre and other short films. He's the owner / founder. I guess that's your title. Sounds good to me. The Hefe.
I think, yeah, / co-founder with Frankie Rodriguez. Yep.
Yeah. Of Wasp Nest Videos. And he also does a cigar show and review on Facebook called The Bakersfield Gentleman. And it runs several times a week. You guys check it out. It's a lot of fun if you guys like cigars. I love cigars. So...
Yep. I still have more for you. I gotta see you. I gotta see you in person one of these days.
No, I haven't seen you in like a month almost.
It's been so long. This thing is killing me. I'm so bored. Thank you so much for getting me to do something. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for helping me out. I appreciate it. And thanks for taking your time to watch that movie too.
If you recommend them, I'll watch them. So let me know when.
For sure. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me and for joining Miguel. And thank you, Miguel, for joining me.
Anytime.
So if you guys have Amazon or Tubi, you guys check out Deadtime Stories. There's 3 of them on there. So check them all out if you guys got time. Most of us do now. So you think you guys will like it. We liked it. So any last words, Miguel? Magoo?
Yeah, I would recommend checking this show out. Make sure you hit the notification button so it lets you know when they go live. That's what I did. Do me a favor, check out the Bakersfield Gentleman. I'll go live in the morning every day right now to kind of get rid of the boredom for the quarantine. Check out Girls Going Gin on Thursday, at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because you'll see more Joe, you'll see more me, and you'll see our awesome friend Lauren.
And sometimes
And
Peanut.
yeah, I can't wait to do more shows with you. Oh yeah, and Peanut, can't forget.
We used to have Frankie on there, but Frankie's a loser now, so whatever.
Yeah, I used to know some guy. Yeah, used to know somebody. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, make sure you check out Frankie too. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday when we do Bakersfield Gentlemen. It's a lot of fun. Couldn't do it without him. So yeah, please check that out. Thank you, Tom, for checking this out. Really do appreciate it, brother.
Yes, thank you everybody who joined in tonight. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I hope you guys stay tuned for more content.
Heck yeah. Can't wait.
All right. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you next time on Any Last Words. Night, guys.